There haven't been many new developments today, but I will finally confirm for all of you that Mr. Dermond's head was decapitated. And we do not know the whereabouts of his head. The autopsy is still going on right now at the State Crime Lab in Atlanta. We are still interviewing neighbors and friends and still pursuing the acquisition of financial records and those types of things. And we still do not know the whereabouts of Shirley Dermond. We have had false reports and rumors to the extent that we found Miss Dermond's body. We have not. And I stress to everyone, as I have since the very first day of this, we need to assume, or at least pray, that Miss Dermond is still alive, and we desperately need to know her whereabouts. And obviously, we need to find, if possible, the remains of Mr. Dermond that we don't have in our possession.
Anything else found in the garage? Any kind of a weapon? Any
No.
kind of knife?
No.
Any hatchet? Anything?
Were there any blood stains in the garage?
Well,
I think that's the murder scene.
I don't know that that's the murder scene, but there's obviously blood.
Was the coroner able to give you a better sense of exactly what time this crime happened, or even
Well,
narrow
not-
it down to a day?
No, we know that this happened sometime between, I know that this happened from other sources, mail deliveries, that it happened sometime Friday or Saturday, maybe early Sunday morning.
Have you looked at all the surveillance? I assume there's surveillance footage from the gated entrance. Is that?
We are trying to locate all surveillance footage anywhere in that area of this county. My detectives are out right now gathering video footage from stores even that we had no idea he might have gone to or might not have gone to.
Where was the body moved from?
I have no idea. I can tell you it was moved a couple of feet in the garage.
How heavy a man was he?
I would say, looking at it, about 150, 170 pounds.
Sheriff, you were able to determine if the decapitation happened, if he died through decapitation or he murdered first and then that happened?
I'm not confirmed that yet. I would suspect it was post-mortem. I would suspect that. I do not know that.
Can you talk to us about what your investigators have been doing in the surrounding community, in the houses nearby, and then on the lake as well, in terms of what you were looking for?
Within a matter of 2 hours upon receiving this call, my patrol boats were in the water and we drugged the vicinity of this home. Obviously, we are not in a position it's humanly impossible to drag Lake Oconee. But we did that within a couple of hours. Yesterday, the Department of Natural Resources came with the most advanced sonar equipment they have, what we call Sightman sonar, that depicts the bottom of the lake. Once again, we worked the area immediately adjacent to the home, if I mind telling you, we found a Christmas tree and a lawn chair on the bottom of the lake. Within an hour of responding to this call, our cadaver dogs had searched the immediate vicinity, the wooded area around the home. Not the entire green space there, but the entire area immediately adjacent to that. We've done that. We continue going from door to door, people on that street, the adjacent streets and things like that, and talking to people who were there. This is no different, although this is a tremendous amount of media present, this is no different than we do any homicide investigation. You try to find out the whereabouts of people and who they had contact with, and we're doing that. We conduct it the same way I always have. When we have a violent crime, something I'm in command of, we throw all of our resources at it. And all of my detectives, as well as some of the other deputies. We've been assisted by the FBI and Jones County Sheriff's Office, Morgan County Sheriff's Office, and sheriffs throughout the state have offered to send us as many deputies as I want, but we don't have a point to look as far as the whereabouts of Mrs. Dermond. We looked in, like I said, we looked in the woods adjacent to the house, we looked in the lake, but as her pocketbook and things like that are there, cell phone is there, the car is there, you know, we don't have anything to track other than the image that we've given you to put out there for the public to see.
And you're still considering her a victim and not a suspect?
Let me tell you, the only person that's not a suspect is Sheriff Sills, because I know where I was. Okay? And, but given the totality of the circumstances of her age, the fact that he was decapitated, I certainly don't consider her a suspect, but can I absolutely say for certainty that she, no, I can't, but there's certainly nothing to indicate that, and everything to indicate that she is, has been abducted or something.
What makes you think this is a random incident?
I don't think it's a random incident.
So what do you say to the community?
I think for whatever reason, these people were singled out for this. They're living in the most exclusive neighborhood, or one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in this county. It's not out on a major thoroughfare like Highway 441 or something like that, where some, you know, traveling serial killer might be just going through. They're on a cul-de-sac in a gated, multi-million-dollar resort community that we have no crime in. We virtually have no crime in that subdivision. I'm not going to tell you we work minor traffic accidents there. We respond to false burglar alarms. I'm sure we've had a golf club stolen or something like that, but I don't ever recall in the 18 years I've been sheriff of even having a burglary there. So it's not the type of neighborhood for random crime. And it damn sure isn't the circumstances of a decapitated man and an 88-year-old man in his home being a random crime.
Do you think he was killed in the garage?
I don't know that.
Are there any leads in people who may have had malicious intent against this couple?
None that we've been able to determine.
Any motives?
None that we can.
What information has the family provided?
The family, the children are here, they're adult children, and they've been extremely cooperative, but they live in different states, and while they did have contact with their parents, they had not had contact with their parents in a couple of days.
Sheriff, can you say, have they indicated that there were any past troubles? Anybody who would have an issue, just even old business dealings? Have they shed any light on who would have a...
Mr. Dermond had been retired basically for about 2 decades, and they've lived here since 1994. And so, no, the answer to that's no.
Any health
It's not easy
issues
getting there by the
with
lake
family?
either. I mean, aren't they on like a real thin coat?
Well, you could, no, I mean, you could get there by the lake, certainly.
I mean, would you be visible? I mean, it's sort of like, would people say, I mean, aren't all the homes right on the lake?
Oh, sure. I mean, but I mean, you got to understand, on our lakes here, people are fishing at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not unusual to see fishermen casting lures up against docks anywhere on Lake Oconee or Lake Sinclair in Putnam County. That's not unusual.
Any health issues with the couple, anything that you knew about? Or?
Yeah, but I mean, nothing, I mean, there are health issues that I'm aware of through the family, and medications and things like that are no different than the average person their age.
Based on your experience and your knowledge of this area, are you inclined to believe that whoever did this came from, accessed their home through the lake and not through the front gate, or is there anything that leads you one way or another?
No, there's nothing to tell us that it came from the water or from the ground. There's no, what I'm saying, we have no, these are paved streets, we have a dock with, an immaculate dock with, it's not any broken boards on it or anything. It's not there, I can't tell. Could it come from the water? Yes. Could it come from the street? Yes. Could it come from outer space? Yes. I don't, it's totally open.
Sheriff, this happened Friday night, Saturday morning, the potential abduction of Mrs. Dermond. Does the fact that there is no errant ransom note, no communication, is that more and more disturbing as the hours go on and on?
Certainly it is. I mean, I mean, you've got such unusual circumstances here. The totality of these circumstances are very unusual. I mean, if it's an abduction, you would expect some sort of extortion demand. If it was assassination, you would think both of the people would be there, both bodies would be there. And then you have a totally nothing in their background that indicates anything like this, and then the area where it happened is not indicative of any kind of homicide, much less there's no domestic history.
How
They've been
frustrating,
married 68 years.
how frustrating is this for you, for your investigators, trying to get to the bottom of having to work two very different crimes with such an innocent couple?
Well, I can tell you that I worked many homicides in my career, and this quite candidly is the most frustrating one that I've ever worked so far.
Why is that?
Once again, the totality of the circumstances that I've explained to you, the very unusual factors that keep popping up, and no apparent enemies or things like that, nothing that made them particularly vulnerable, an area that was not vulnerable, all of that, yep.
Did
You
we
tell
find any
people to lock their
fingerprints?
doors now?
I tell people to lock the doors all the time. I'm the sheriff of this county. I'm the most heavily armed individual probably in it. I never get out of my vehicle that I don't lock my door and lock my own doors at night. And so I think everybody should do that. We live in a community that, compared to most of the communities you're from, it has no crime. But that doesn't mean that everyone should be cautious at all times.
Residents are panicked, getting calls from people?
No, I wouldn't call it panic. What my biggest problem, to be honest, the truth about it, is false rumors that are being spread about. People are not panicked. This is a community that's capable, at least initially, protecting itself, I think, and I don't think you've got any panic. But this is still a small town, and that's an isolated community, and this hasn't happened before. So I don't care if it's Buckhead, Bangladesh. When you have a crime like this in the neighborhood, people are going to be upset.
Is there anything more specific that you could ask for from the public in terms of the type of information you're looking for, a time frame?
Anybody that has had recent contact, and I say recent contact, I'm talking about in the last week with the Dermonds, or certainly anybody who has seen Mrs. Dermond. That's what we're looking for, or anybody who knows anybody about anything about these people, why these people, that they would be targeted if they were targeted in this manner.
Can you confirm the FBI is investigating with you right now? Is it because it's going across state lines?
I asked the FBI in early because of the potential abduction, and they've assisted me. I mean, we're talking, before I walked in here, I was talking to an agent, and a resident agent from Macon actually worked with me side by side for 13 hours yesterday.
What exactly are they doing in the investigation?
Well, they're handling some technical things and running down some leads for us that they can do faster.
What are the chances that she is still alive at this point?
Well, I certainly hope that she's still alive, but I'm not overly optimistic simply because of her husband.
What was the most recent phone calls or any information from that?
The most recent time we know somebody, excuse me, the most recent time we can confirm, and I've confirmed this myself by looking at it, was Thursday afternoon. Okay? But because of mail deliveries and things like that, we know that it goes a little bit beyond that.
You said there was no sign of forced entry, nothing ransacked in the home. Was there any sign of fingerprints, any physical evidence to show that someone
I'm
else
not
was
going
in
to
the room?
elaborate on anything of that nature.
Any credit cards or any financial statements been used?
Not this time. Nothing we're aware of.
Is it safe, is it fair to say y'all really still don't have a lead? I mean, it's just because of the nature of the crime?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Have there been any calls that seemed like a promising lead and you go out and you think it's going to be something and
We're
your
getting,
head not even that much?
I want people to call, but we've had calls like we saw a boat at 2 o'clock in the morning on the lake. We can see a boat anytime at 2 o'clock in the morning on the lake. That's not, I don't mean that, it's not 285, my God, but it's, but boats are on our lakes late at night. People fish late at night. but we're following up on those when we get a call. We're questioning the people there. But if I had a good solid lead, guess what? I wouldn't be standing here talking to y'all.
They have security there 24 hours out at that game, you know?
Yes.
So is it possible that somebody, or probable that somebody came via boat?
I don't think it's any more probable that they came by boat than they came by car.
And the surveillance video was working, and you have looked through it?
We are trying to determine that now.
So we don't know if the security
We don't
cameras are working?
We don't know
So do you think they possibly knew your killer, his killer?
yet. It is indicative of that. But if I knock on your door and you come to the door and I stick my pistol in your face and I grab you, there may not be a struggle then, okay? But initially, one would think as there's no forced entry or something like that they probably knew. But I can't absolutely, say that for sure.
They have
Had
to
they
call
been-
in security though, right?
Pardon me?
They have to call security to be able to have access, right?
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Is there any other signs of physical trauma on the body, struggles, stabbings, wounds?
I'm not gonna elaborate on that any further either.
Have they been having any work done in the house at all? Any?
I mean, these, there are lawn maintenance people that work at all, these homes are kept up immaculately. Almost all the people that live in these neighborhoods have landscapers and garden people that come there, monthly or weekly and do things. So that type of stuff does go on. We obviously have identified those people, and to my knowledge, I'm not absolutely sure, I think we've already interviewed all of those people.
Any contractors, anybody coming to the neighborhood looking for work, knocking on doors, anything like that?
There shouldn't be.
Sheriff, I'm sorry to ask you to elaborate about the absolutely most gruesome element of this, but can you just clarify, you did say that he was decapitated, but was his head with his body?
No, we do not have a,
You said the children helped you rule out the possibility of torture. Is that still the case?
no, I didn't say that. I said the children have been completely cooperative with us and in every way. And I can't tell you whether, I have no way of knowing at this point in time whether he was tortured or anybody was tortured. I don't think, as I said earlier, I'm fairly confident that his head wasn't severed while he was alive.
Did they own a boat?
No.
When do you expect the preliminary report?
I've had portions of it already.
Yeah,
And I've told you all I'm going to tell you.
everything you can tell. Yeah. Sure. Thank you
And
very
you said
much.
they did or didn't own a boat?
They did not own a boat anymore. They did own a boat at one time, but they sold it a couple of years ago.
They have a dock over right? Boat dock.
Pardon me?
They have a dock.
Oh, yeah, they have a dock and they have a lift for a personal watercraft. They have a cover with a lift for a boat, but they sold those things several years ago. I've got the exact dates, but
But the dock is still there and
Oh,
functional?
yeah.
What do we know about them financially? Anything suspicious in their
No.
bank accounts? Any indication this might be organized crime?
no.
Do you know what kind of business he was in before he retired?
He had his most recent business venture, he had owned a series of fast food restaurants.
Do you know which one?
I think different ones at different times. I've been told Wendy's and I've been told Hardee's, but it's been some time since he operated
It's from Atlanta. They were in Atlanta.
in the metro Atlanta. They moved here from Atlanta.
And before Atlanta, have they always been in Atlanta or
No,
are they from
no.
North Carolina?
No, they've lived in several. He was in the corporate world for a number of years and they lived in several cities around the country.